Hello and welcome to my YouTube. This YouTube is remembering the year 1969. I was 25 years old, leading the engineering department aboard the USS Floyd B. Parks, home ported in San Diego. In September of that year, I left the Navy and returned to college at Phillips University in Oklahoma. On January 14th, an explosion aboard the aircraft carrier USS Enterprise near Hawaii kills 28 and injures 514. I had just been transferred off of the Enterprise 2 months before this explosion, and 3 of the men that died were friends of mine. The flight deck of the Enterprise is a 6-inch thick steel plate. One of the bombs that went off blew a 12-foot hole completely through that 6-inch deck. On January 20th, Richard Nixon is sworn in as the 37th President of the United States. On January 28th, the Santa Barbara oil spill, a blowout of Union Oil's Platform A, spills 80 to 100,000 barrels of crude oil into a channel and onto the beaches of Santa Barbara County. On January 30th, the Beatles give their last public performance on the roof of Apple Records. The impromptu concert is broken up by the police. On February 9th, the Boeing 747 jumbo jet is flown for the very first time. I've flown aboard this plane several times in my careers. On March 20th, John Lennon and Yoko Ono are married at Gibraltar and proceed to their honeymoon bed-in for peace in Amsterdam. On March 30th, the body of former United States General and President Dwight D. Eisenhower is brought by caisson to the United States Capitol to lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda. On April 8th, the Montreal Expos become the Major League Baseball's first team outside the United States. On April 17th, Sirhan Sirhan is found guilty of the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. On May 10th, the Battle of Hamburger Hill begins during the Vietnam War. On May 15th, an American teenager, Robert Rayford, dies in St. Louis, Missouri of a baffling medical condition. 15 years later, it will be identified as the earliest confirmed case of AIDS in North America. On June 3rd, the Australian aircraft carrier HMS Melbourne accidentally rams and slices into the American destroyer USS Frankie Evans in the South China Sea, killing 74 American seamen. On July 19th, the Chappaquiddick incident. U.S. Senator Edmund Kennedy drives off a bridge into a tidal pond after leaving a party on Chappaquiddick Island, Massachusetts, killing Mary Jo Kopechne. Kennedy does not report the accident for 10 hours. This was a huge story in the news, and a political scandal for Kennedy. On July 20th, an estimated 650 million people worldwide watched in awe as Neil Armstrong takes his first historic steps on the surface of the moon. One small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. On August 9th, on orders from Charles Manson, members of the Manson family, which was 3 young girls, invade the Los Angeles home of film director Roman Polanski and murder his pregnant wife, the actress Sharon Tate, and 4 others. On August 15th through the 18th, the Woodstock Festival is held near White Lake, New York, featuring Crosby, Stills and Nash, Joan Baez, The Grateful Dead, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, the Jefferson Airplanes, and Canned Heat. 400,000 people attended. On September 8th, after 147 years, the last weekly issue of the Saturday Evening Post is published. On September 26th, the Beatles released their Abbey Road album. On October 5th, Monty Python's Flying Circus airs on the BBC for the first time. My daughter Allison was a huge Monty Python fan growing up. On November 15th, 250,000 protesters stage a peaceful demonstration against the Vietnam War in Washington, D.C. Also on November 15th, the Soviet submarine K-19 collides with the American submarine USS Gato in the Barents Sea. On December 1st, the very first draft lottery in the United States since World War II is held. And there was a lot of protest marches about that. A lot of people burning their draft cards, and some moving to Canada. On December 3rd, Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice offer John Lennon the role to play Jesus Christ in their rock opera Jesus Christ Superstar. And of course, he turned them down. On December 14th, Michael Jackson makes his first show appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show, along with his brothers and sisters as the Jackson 5. What were the top grossing movies of 1969? Which 5 movies made the most money? And here they are, starting with number 1. Robert Redford, Paul Newman, Butch Cassidy, and the Sundance Kid. Next, The Love Bug, a Disney comedy. Next, Midnight Cowboy, starring Dustin Hoffman and Jon Voight. Next, Easy Rider, starring Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper, and Jack Nicholson. Hello, Dolly, starring Barbra Streisand and Walter Matthau. What were the top TV shows of 1969 according to the Nielsen ratings? Number 1, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Next, Gunsmoke. Next, Bonanza. Next, Mayberry RFD. And coming in at number 5, Family Affair. Who were the top singers in 1969? Now, this is according to records sold and radio plays. Tops, the Beatles. Number 2, Elvis Presley. Number 3, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Number 4, Stevie Wonder. When he first came on the scene, he was called Little Stevie Wonder. Next, the Fifth Dimension. They came to my college once. The laser printer was introduced. It was no small thing that sat on your desktop. It was a huge contraption. This is what they looked like when they first came out. Frosted Mini Wheat cereal was introduced that year. Tic Tac was introduced. The Unix operating system was introduced that year. So, who was born in 1969? And let's start with the women. Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer Lopez, Mariah Carey, and Renee Zellweger. What about the men? Edward Norton, Matthew Perry, who just recently died, Christian Slater, Matthew McConaughey, So, what were the top songs of 1969? What did we buy on our record players, and what were we playing in the jukeboxes, and what were the radio stations playing? You combine that data to get these rankings. Number 1 song, The Archies, Sugar Sugar. Number 2, Aquarius, Let the Sunshine In by the Fifth Dimension. Number 3, The Temptations, I Can't Get Next to You. Number 4, Honky Tonk Women by the Rolling Stones. And coming in at number 5, Sly and the Family Stone, Everyday People. This is my 22nd YouTube Remembering a Year. In the other 21 YouTubes, I always ended the YouTube video playing and singing 2 or 3 songs from that year. There will be no songs at the end of this YouTube. Yesterday, I had surgery on my left hand for cancer, and I am unable to play my keyboard.